and welcome to the Fort Brox Crypto Podcast. I'm your host, Neil Alonzo, with my co-host and co-founder of Fort Brox, Mr. Brandon Donheath.
Fort Brox.
This is once again, best episode today.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Snap into a Slim Jim.
I immediately knew Macho Man Randy Savage, baby.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh, my goodness. It could have been Kathleen Turner, though.
Oh, yeah?
Although I do like her husky voice. Although I think she had a medical issue with that. We'll say Kirstie Alley. She has a deeper voice.
Yeah.
I like her voice, too.
Yeah.
But anyways, why it's the best episode?
Yeah.
I slapped the table. I know I did. I did it on purpose, though.
Yeah.
It's because we're sharing how to learn about crypto.
Yeah.
This isn't going to be the longest episode, but I believe it'll be very helpful.
Hopefully.
At the end of the day, to learn crypto, it just takes the motivation of the individual to be like, what? Fuck it. I'm going to put some time into this.
Yeah.
Because at the end, it takes time, right? Yeah. It does. You might have to reread things a couple times, re-listen to things a couple times, reference. It's work, right?
Yeah.
But don't they say every time you learn something new, like you create new
pathways in your brain?
Yeah.
Feel younger.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. The feel younger part, right?
Yeah.
So if that's the case, and you're a man, you're having a hard time getting it up, there you go. You feel younger and you can get it up. If you're a lady and you want to feel younger, you learn new things, you feel younger as well.
They can get it up too. You know what I mean?
Yes, they can. I don't think this is that podcast. That's more Call Her Daddy.
Oh.
She's hilarious, by the way. But yeah, no, it just makes you feel younger. I like that value proposition.
Yeah.
Makes you feel younger when you learn new things.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sold. How about this? I'm subscribing.
Yeah. Also, because we're not wealth managers, financial advisors, or brokers.
You want the disclosure.
Well, I'm just saying you have to learn on your own. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
And one way of learning on your own is how we're going to help you learn.
Yeah. Today, on this episode.
Yeah.
You can re-listen to this episode. And it's going to be a shorter one.
Yep.
Purposefully.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that you need to listen to everything we're saying for that extended period of time, because we're just going to drop all these different places that you can learn about.
Knowledge bombs.
I don't know. We're sharing our inefficiencies as humans so that we're correcting with more knowledgeable areas.
Yeah.
But you pretty much covered the disclosures, didn't you?
Well, I just said we're not those things, so don't take what we say as financial advice because we can't legally give it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I don't think I need to read the boilerplate on this one.
Let's jump into it, man.
Because at the end of the day, nothing we're saying is construed as investment advice.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we covered it,
okay.
Especially given the episode and the breadth of what we're taking here.
Yeah.
So everything that we're talking about now, all the links to everything that we're citing will be in our show notes. It'll be on our website, cryptopodcast.xyz, on the Fort Brox Crypto Podcast show, because we have multiple shows. We also have Crypto Vibes, which gives you a weekly recap of news, what's happening in the world of crypto and Web3.
Mm-hmm.
So to kick off, how to learn about crypto.
Crack.
It's a little bit of, it feels like you're hooked on it a little bit. If you get hooked, it is. Or to make it more clean, it's like surfing. Once you catch that first wave, if you really feel that sensation, you're hooked.
Mm-hmm.
But in crypto, one of my favorite sites is Coinmarketcap.com.
Same here.
I love that site.
Coinmarketcap.com.
I use that site every day.
That's what brought up this episode.
Yeah, it is, huh?
Yeah.
And
we were listening to another podcast.
Yes.
Trader. I'm just kidding.
Are we that vain that we're the only ones that know what the fuck we're talking about?
Definitely not.
Trader.
But then you overheard that Binance bought it and you didn't know that. And I hadn't heard that yet. So we looked it up and it was a $400 million deal.
Acquisition by Binance.
Cash and
Go CZ.
Cash and stocks. Yeah.
Who had a really good podcast, and it talked about how to learn. It was the Foster sisters.
Mm-hmm.
They were actresses. I think their father is a talent agent, I believe, but they had Katie Hahn, who were big fans of Katie Hahn. But that particular podcast, we'll put it in our show notes. But it was interesting because they were asking a lot of questions, especially from the female side of things, because there's so much crypto bro. We can't argue the fact that we're two guys in a room, bros, talking about crypto. Down. I know we're like walking head first into the stereotype.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes stereotypes are true for a reason, but I also feel like if I get stereotyped, yeah, bring it on. I don't care.
It's so passive aggressive.
Bernie Bros, all those things. Millennial, yeah.
But in this
Avocado
particular
toast,
case,
yeah,
I'd like to think
I'm in it.
we're more tangible than others. We definitely don't want to be pretentious about how we're delivering information. We're just humans at the end of the day. And I mean, there are other ways you can get information that are definitely more crypto, bro, but there is a lot of, on both sides of genders being talked about. And that in this particular podcast episode that those ladies were interviewing Katie Hahn about, it was awesome because the way that they articulated the questions, it has nuances and differences to it.
Yeah.
So in that way, it's cool to see how everybody's learning in their own ways.
Yeah.
And how they're figuring out ways to articulate how to learn.
Yeah.
One of the things that I truly like about Coinmarketcap.com is it's like a beacon of information for any one coin you want to search.
It's like the Wikipedia of coins.
But well curated.
Well curated.
Very well curated. Yeah. You still want to do your own research on anything that you may click through, but you can find out so much information on Coinmarketcap.com because they reference tokenomics.
Yep.
They reference and what do we mean by tokenomics for those who are wanting to learn? Are things such as the market supply.
Yeah.
How high has it been?
Supply, the market cap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything historical about the data. I mean, if you were looking at Luna, it shows you when they transitioned to Lunc or LUNC.
Yeah.
And how that was from Terra. It's a catalog of everything. It's going to be so amazing 10 years from now.
Yeah.
It's this time bottle piece.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I like about what we're doing with the Crypto Vibes podcast is that it recaps the week, but 10 years from now, it's just going to be this crazy time bottle of information.
Yep. You're going to be mad that you shat all over KuCoin, but...
I didn't. Just to clear up a little bit of that discussion, KuCoin had rumors, speculation, and speculation is FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt in a lot of ways.
Yep.
And the speculation was that KuCoin might be insolvent. Yep. But then Johnny KuCoin on Twitter, the CEO of KuCoin, posted a tweet about how all of these rumors are unsubstantiated. Yeah. They've raised a number of rounds of funding. But here's the thing. When it comes to the exchanges right now...
And they're hiring.
They're
still making money.
I believe, again, in this particular case...
I think it was just FUD.
It probably is.
Yeah.
But again, sometimes when you're talking about exchanges and where your things are at...
Yeah.
Do you want to be the condom's choice?
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is 99 point whatever percent of the time a condom works.
Yeah.
But it's that point something percent that it doesn't work that you end up with a responsibility.
I think it's 0.04. I don't know. I know that. 99.96 or 99.97. One of those two numbers.
So in that way, the condom's chance if something can go sideways.
Yeah.
Do you want to pull out or not? So some people pulled their money out, some didn't. Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah.
We like KuCoin.
I feel you.
So in that way, it's unfortunate that those types of rumors happen, but here's the thing. Those happen in the stock market.
Yeah.
And they've happened for decades.
Yep.
And those things of what's moved markets, destroyed companies. I mean, Hollywood sensationalized it through things like even Wall Street too.
Yeah. When the movie Wall Street.
Movie Wall Street, the second one.
Oh.
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah. LaBeouf. That one was a good one. I like that one.
I enjoy. Was it Oliver Stone? Yeah.
Did he make it?
Yeah. Because he was the one who made the original one, Wall Street.
Yeah, he made one.
Well, he made them both.
Did he make number 2?
You can Google that.
Probably.
You should Google that while we're talking right now. No, let's fact check.
That's okay.
You can IMDb that.
Yeah.
Anyways, IMDb is also a great place for internet. Yeah. Oh, that is now, huh?
Yeah.
But coinmarketcap.com, great place to learn. Great place to start. It is overwhelming. Mm-hmm. Know this going into it. Everything is overwhelming.
Yeah.
So just pick and choose. Maybe you start with a coin or you start with a phrase. One of the sites that has
I would start with our podcast, Crypto Jargon 1.
That's a good one to start with.
I mean, just because it lays the foundation of some.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're listening to this right now, I don't know if you're a first timer or if you've listened to a couple, so you might have heard it. But if you're listening to this podcast, looking to learn how to learn, that's a good place to start. And then obviously this one as well. Because we'll run you through some good resources.
the phrase you just said, and we've said it multiple times on different podcasts and probably in our daily life.
Yeah.
I think regardless of the age, it's becoming more prevalent. Learning how to learn.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to be open, and learning how to learn is its own skill set, part of your toolbox, your own personal toolbox. And I think there's something to be said for that.
For sure.
If you want to read through a number of acronyms and just kind of go through stuff, Gemini, the exchange, has a site called Cryptopedia, and I've used it a lot actually.
Yeah.
And so does a separate site called Investopedia. They both have acronym breakdowns.
Yeah.
Of a lot of jargon, not just in crypto and Web3 space, but just in finance alone, because there's so much related to finance and all that. So that's another great resource, is Gemini's Cryptopedia, and we'll have that in our show links and Investopedia's link. Those are two other great pieces. The exchanges themselves have also taken it upon their way, and I believe it to be a great lead generator.
Yeah.
Proof of that is Binance acquiring Coinmarketcap.com.
Yeah.
So
in 2020, April of 2020.
In April of 2020.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, so CoinMarketCap was well underway. They were established and doing their thing. Obviously, they create a lot of value if they sold for $400 million.
Yeah.
But the exchanges, Coinbase, has put a lot of resources into a whole learning and knowledge base, and they have a very interesting way of disseminating the information. I think they put a lot of production value in information. They have certain reels on Instagram and TikTok that I've been a big fan of, because they give you visual representations of things that you might want to learn about.
Yeah.
The longer we're in this space, the better I believe it'll be for people who want to use visuals to go along with words, talk about it in that way and re-listen to things. Because the visuals, when it comes to crypto, I think it helps substantially. You know what I mean? Like, even when we're in a whiteboard and I'm talking to people about it, when I have that whiteboard, everything gets articulated that much better.
Yeah. Well, you talk with your hands a lot too, and you pound, so you take off the end of the cap and you just poke it on the thing, and you're like, yes, I'm
very passionate.
Yeah, you're
I got a lot of passion about this.
Dude.
Like, when I see you, I'm happy all over. Like, you see it. You know what I mean? Like, we're vibing. I feel it. So having said that, the exchanges such as Coinbase, Binance, also in their blog, they have a number of things. They actually had a blog post about the dead cat bounce during Luna.
Oh, wow.
It just was such perfect timing.
Yeah.
Right? It really was. And then you have KuCoin, also has a great knowledge base. FTX.
Yeah.
And Crypto.com. I mean, other exchanges are obviously out there.
Yep.
But those exchanges seem to have put a lot of time and effort into a lot of the knowledge base and learning. I will say there's enough free information on the internet.
Yeah.
It comes down.
Jump in a clubhouse if you want to get inundated.
Well, so the only problem with those things, right, in my opinion, is when you jump into things such as Clubhouse, or Twitter's a great place to learn.
Yeah.
But there's so much noise.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's
really hard to weed that out.
Yeah. What's right? What's wrong?
Yeah.
Again, and that's why it takes a lot of effort, is because are you going to read something and then fact check it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that becomes its own job, and you can go down rabbit holes in a lot of cases, because people put around Twitter threads, great threads. Vitalik Buterin, who's the founder of and the creator of Ethereum, has some great Twitter threads. Yeah. Tim Becko, who works with Ethereum, he has some great Twitter threads. Yeah. But the problem with going through all that is it's very advanced. And even when it is somewhat layman's terms, you need to still kind of do more due diligence. Yeah. Now, if it's other people in media, then you kind of want to fact check it too, or they might have a position on it or just an opinion of it. Yep. The cool part about crypto, in my opinion, in a number of ways, is there's a lot of female voices and a lot of male voices. Yeah. If you search out the type of voice you want to find, I believe that there's a lot of options out there. Yeah. Because it comes down to how you want the information delivered to you in the package that it's being delivered in. Yep. Because some people can articulate information in a way that's more pleasant. But then again, it's an opinion. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Most of it's opinion.
So I will say, it's a matter of preference, right? Yeah. I will say there's a lot more pretty people in crypto than I remember being pretty people in...
Finance?
No. No, there's a lot of pretty people, more people than you'd think. Maybe not early on, but the early .com days.
Oh yeah.
It just doesn't. It definitely seems like it's much more fashionable to be into crypto than it was in the early .com days.
Just look at the like early pictures of Elon Musk where he's like balding and doesn't have hair, and then now you see him and he's got hair and like 20 kids.
So for those listening and maybe watching, Brandon, take off your hat real quick.
Oh yeah.
Let's just prove a point. See, so you can say shit like that without it being offensive.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Because just for those who are listening, man is bald.
I'm bald. Yeah.
But you're beautiful.
I've been balding since 24.
It's like the cliche: the more hair you lose, the more head you get.
Yeah. Instead of when Lambo, I'm like when hair transplant.
Just keeps, dude. Use Hims, right?
Nah.
I have a couple friends who rock it, and it seems to be working.
Well,
you know what I mean?
You got that FUD on that Propecia stuff, so.
All I know is that I've been called many names by friends because of my head of hair. Yeah. So I don't think I'm the right person to talk about these things.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Podcast.
Yeah.
So obviously, if you're listening to ours, thank you. We appreciate you. Hopefully we're bringing value to you.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
I'm going to say the reason why we started this podcast was to try and inform people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really why we started.
Well, we could also talk about a selfish reason too. We wanted to create a direct connection with those who are card partners to what we're doing with crypto mining.
Yeah.
And for those who are potentially card partners to us with our crypto mining value proposition, just so we could have we are real people behind this company.
Yeah.
We share our thoughts and points of views because
we wanted to have a face behind a lot of crypto companies are faceless.
It seems that way in this space. Yeah.
If you watch that documentary on, I think it's Netflix about that dude who ran the exchange up in Canada, ended up dying in India and taking taking everybody's money with him. It's like a $200 million basically like rug pull or some shit.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'll take a look.
Yeah. It wasn't that interesting. I wasn't interested in the like money stealing side of it. Like,
well, that's good of you.
No, I'm not saying it in that way. I'm saying like I like murder mysteries and documentaries on murder. Like
Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah, that's a good show. But yeah, I'm just into
I get
documentaries like that. Like yeah, and
I catch what you're saying. There's hopefully you are as well.
Yeah. So anyway, my point was, what was I talking about?
Before you went off on your tangent, I could see tangent. You. It's all right. We'll connect the dots for you. We were talking about podcasts.
Oh yeah.
And we were sharing the fact of thank you for listening to ours, and hopefully we're providing value. And you started talking about this documentary.
Yeah.
Because our motives behind creating the podcast was so that people had a real face.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Okay. Because this guy, I mean, he didn't there's no pictures of him up on the website. There's nothing, but like now you start to see some of these like Gemini that's got the Winklevoss twins, correct or incorrect?
Yeah.
And then you got CZ. Yeah. With Binance.
You got Brian Armstrong with Coinbase. And Sam Bankman-Fried with FTX.
But they're trying to get their faces out there, and
Johnny KuCoin.
This was one of our ways of doing that, was to
put a
show
face.
Ourselves. Yeah.
So that was our selfish reason. But at the end of the day, we truly believe, and you probably see this in some of our bios and pieces, is that you have to share value to create value.
Yeah.
And because we've been in this space, we want to share our experiences. We want to be very candid. Like, for instance, our Flux episode.
Yeah.
We openly were learning about Flux when we recorded that episode.
Yeah.
We wanted to showcase full transparency in how we were learning. Mm-hmm. If you're a Flux believer and you've been in the space for a while, you would probably say it was painful to listen to because it sounded so just trivial. It probably sounded redundant. There's so many things about it. But again, we stated we were openly learning about it because we had a couple card partners that wanted us to start mining and looking at it.
Yeah.
So we went at it fresh face. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. To some extent, we do agree that you should know about a subject before creating a podcast.
Yeah.
But I'm also of the opinion you need to be very candid with there's not enough out there that shows how you learn about something. Mm-hmm. And when you share that you're learning, I think that there's a lot of advanced podcasts, especially in crypto.
Yeah.
We could get in the weeds with how we talk about it sometimes ourselves, but there's not enough out there that says, I don't know.
I don't know.
So how did we figure it out? How did we learn?
Yet.
But yeah, it's that mentality, right?
Yeah.
And you could even hear in the episode how we went through certain things. And we read from the website verbatim.
Yeah.
And when you would read things from, not the whole episode, just a portion of it, because most of the episode, in my opinion, was when we went blue sky with what could be done with Flux.
Yeah.
Which we kind of like. Hopefully it comes to reality. But when you read a lot of the stuff that's on these websites, it sounds like gibberish.
Yeah.
And it's hard to digest. So which makes it even harder for people to want to adopt it or test it out. So you already have to have some sort of cursory knowledge and a way of learning how to learn before you'd probably feel comfortable, unless, and like you listened to our crypto jargon episode, if you're aping into it, you're just not doing your due diligence and you're buying because of the hype.
Yeah.
But anyways, going back to other ways we like to learn, podcasts, more advanced podcasts that are out there, such as Bankless. You definitely have to have some sort of knowledge of it, of crypto, but they have a lot of great guests. They definitely have a point of view on everything. I enjoy listening to it. Recode, Vox Media has a number of different podcasts that not all episodes are about crypto and Web3, but a substantial finger or hand is in it. But you can go through a lot of Vox Media's catalog to see different podcasts that are being done. At the end of the day, you have to kind of search it out. Sometimes I just type crypto into Spotify.
Yep.
Or Apple, mostly Spotify. I use Spotify predominantly, but I'll just type it and search. And that's how I discovered the one podcast with the Foster sisters. And it was awesome. I think I also typed in Katie Hahn because I'm a big fan of hers and I want to listen. Katie Hahn's been on, I believe, Tim Ferriss. I want to say she's been on Lex Freedom, maybe not. But Darren Feinstein and Michael Saylor have also been on the Lex Friedman podcast. Good episodes, long episodes.
Yeah.
A little advanced. Definitely a little advanced. But again, if you re-listen to it a couple times, you find nuggets, right? And you'll find bits of information that you might find very helpful, very useful. And so again, it's a time. Time works its magic. But the problem is you got to put forth that effort, right?
Yeah.
But those are podcasts that we like. We'll put a lot of these in our show notes and specific ones in our show notes. As far as there is a handful of books out right now.
You mean paper?
Yeah.
IRL paper?
I don't buy any of the books, unfortunately. I do like Audible. I will say I've read more in the last 4 years because of Audible than I had in the previous, at that time it would have been 40 years.
Yeah. Well,
39 years because I'm 43.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't want to rep Audible, there's some other like programs like Hoopla.
Hoopla, yeah, I've heard of Hoopla. I haven't used them myself. Have you?
Yeah.
And?
I love it. Just for regular books, because you go get a library card and then you're open to all of Hoopla's. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's free.
There you go. And we like free.
Yeah, I'm a freegan.
I'm a freegan. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I'll write that one down. Don't worry, I'll source the material whenever we use it.
Yeah. But
yeah, so again, it's not that you can't do the paid for classes. There's some really good ones out there. We believe I haven't used it personally. I'm sure we're going to create some sort of classes at some point. You really don't have to pay for it. You're afford enough with your time.
Yeah.
In putting it to, that's the investment that you're making. But as far as books, one of the books that we always send out to card partners is called The Age of Cryptocurrency: How Bitcoin and Digital Money Are Challenging the Global Economic Order. It was by Michael J. Casey and Paul Vigna, I believe. Vigna. The reason why I like this book in particular is because it kind of gives you everything from A to Z, and then it gives you an idea of the canvas. So if anything, it gives you a history of a lot of things so that you understand kind of where it came from, the motivation behind it, kind of summarizes some of the white paper regarding Satoshi and the creation of Bitcoin. And Satoshi Nakamoto is the creator of Bitcoin. We don't know if it's a him, her, or a group, or they of any nature. But this particular book gives you enough history. Sean Penn.
Sean Penn.
That
he was also Banksy. I didn't know if you knew that.
No.
Yeah, Sean Penn created Bitcoin. He was Banksy.
Not Bitcoin. I'm talking about Banksy.
Yeah, both. Sean Penn.
we'll get to that on another subject level. Let's go back to the book. But this particular book gives you an idea of the canvas. And when I use the word canvas, I mean it as where can it go? Where can cryptocurrency go? Not just as a financial tool, but as technology.
Yeah.
So this is one of the books I'm a big fan of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's, as far as books, again, Hoopla was a great example.
Yep.
I didn't even know anything about them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I learned about them from a just website.
Just finding it, searching it.
Yeah, I think I was looking for an alternative to Audible because I didn't want to pay for them.
Gotcha.
And then I saw Hoopla, and if you have a library card, you can.
So I guess in that way, we say you don't have to pay for classes, but if you're buying something from Audible, you are paying a little bit.
Yeah.
So fair enough.
Yeah, because you have to pay for Audible.
You have to pay for Audible. Yeah. You have to pay for books. Websites that we frequent a lot.
We listed coinmarketcap.com.
Yeah, well, that we headed. I mean, again, big fan of that site. Websites, news websites in regards to crypto and Web3 is decrypt.co. Love their site. They used to be owned by another company, but I think it's called Consens Mesh. And they created it as a way to work with their business. I mean, we're creating our own content to work with our business of crypto mining, and maybe at some point we would separate it, but they definitely did, and they got a separate funding for it and broke off, and now decrypt.co is its own entity. But it's really good. I love the content that they have, their voice in it. They also have a podcast. I think they might have more than one. We'll put the one, I think it's called GM for Good Morning.
Yeah.
Coindesk.com, another great website. They break a lot of information. Them and blockworks.co, both of them seem to go head to head in terms of information. Decrypt.co also does, but I feel like they're a little more unique in their tone and voice. Coindesk and Blockworks, they seem like a really well-oiled engine in this space, both of them. We like them both equally. Sometimes they get exclusives. One we also find from time to time is called the block.co. Cointelegraph is another one. That's a great website.
Yeah,
we do pull information.
News.
Well, because I will say Coindesk and Blockworks too. Decrypt. I mean, maybe all of them. They do have news. Yeah. Breaking news, opinion editorial, and then long form as well. Yeah. And all of them will interview people too, because for instance, on the Decrypt.co podcast, they interviewed Senator Loomis. She's one of the ladies. Her and Senator, I don't know if she's a senator, but Gillibrand is the one that they're really pushing for a lot of regulation. They wrote a bill into place. Yeah. That's going to the Hill. So they interview a lot of great people in those places because they have that sort of prominence in the space right now. Yeah.
Trying to get some of these, one things I do like about these is that they're trying to get some of these, what is it, FDIC protections for consumers. Because right now you don't have federally insured like you would a bank. So if like Gemini goes under and takes all your money, like you have no insurance on that.
The exchanges, it was one of the things that came out when the market took a real big shit was that the exchanges, that's why everybody was kind of pull everything off the exchanges because you might not have access to your
if they money. Go under or attacked, But anyway.
But we'll put in the links of the show notes, the Loomis bill. Yep. And so you can reference that as well. But a lot of these websites, they have a great amount of information. That's why we put together our other podcast called Crypto Vibes, because we recap a lot of the news. Now, it's not all of it because a lot of things happen. Our running kind of byline with Crypto Vibes is that the world of crypto and Web3 is a moving target. Yeah. And every week is so because there's so much information, so much news, so many things, especially during the crypto winter. There's just been more, unfortunately, bad news. Yeah. There's a website called Web3 is Going Great.
Yeah, no, I don't like that.
It was sarcastic in tone. Again, I do have to agree with other people that have spoken about it this way. I think Mark Andreessen had spoke about it on a podcast that I listened to. But I have to agree, when you see sites that point out all the bad things about crypto and Web3, those are they're basically uncovering opportunities. Yeah. For those who want to help build crypto and Web3 correctly. Exactly.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And so it's a silver linings playbook way of looking at things, you know, just positive. Because if you're really into what crypto can do from a tech perspective, there's a lot of benefits of it. It's permissionless.
Yeah.
You can just start building. You know what I mean? It's not like a doctor has to go to school and get some sort of degree.
Yeah.
So because of that, there's going to be a lot of shit out there. I mean, the .com place that happened, it was like nobody had to go out and get a degree to build their first .com.
No.
But in this particular place, people are just going to be building. And since there's so much money in it, and we've already seen how one tech bubble can just be amazing, that's why so much more is being thrown at crypto, we believe now, because of what's already transpired with the innovation we saw of the internet. Mm-hmm. A lot of people reference the two because there's a lot of ways that you can use it as a case study. The real big difference in this one is that everyday citizens can now create revenue in a way that the internet couldn't, because you're creating your own currencies.
Yeah.
Digital currencies. You're creating your own digital assets. The internet did not have that same thing happening. On top of that, there's so much regulation within your own infrastructure. If you're an exchange or if you're like Bored Ape Yacht Club, the way that they're able to govern themselves and the people buying into it, it's all on them.
Yep.
There's an incredible amount of responsibility, inherent responsibility with that just, it wasn't around the same way with the .com or Web 2.0 for that matter, or even
it's like
the first iteration of the web.
Yeah, I mean, it's like going into old arcade and you change over your money for tokens.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same thing. That token's worth this much money.
Yeah, yeah. But if that arcade goes out of business and you're left with those tokens, they're not worth shit.
Yeah. Happens.
I mean, there's a real world example right there.
Yep.
Ooh, there's a way we can use that to articulate a lot of different things that are results to crypto, I think.
Yeah.
In other ways that we learn, and these next examples are fire hoses.
You want me to tell you how I go about it?
Please do.
All
Share.
Right. Most of the time I'm scrolling through Reddit.
Reddit, okay.
And I'm Reddit or Twitter, basically. And then I'll see an interesting, like somebody's like, oh, this coin is doing something. I'm like, oh, that piques my interest. So I'll usually go to their Twitter, try and find them on Twitter or Reddit, because if they've got a community, if they're like worth anything at all, if they have any salt, any merit, they usually have their own Reddit community. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, cool, check them out, see how many people are there. All right, then I'll go to Coinmarketcap.com, check the tokenomics, see their price history, how much they're worth, how much they've been worth. And then CoinMarketCap will have most of their socials. And then from there, I'll like get an idea what that coin's really about, see if it has legs, see if it's like worth an investment in either time, future time, or actual real world money. So that's how I go about it. It's usually Reddit, Twitter, like dumb scrolling.
Doom scrolling?
Well, I'd say dumb scrolling.
Why do you call it dumb scrolling?
Yeah, because I'm just not paying attention to anything other than just scrolling.
Do you ever find yourself fact-checking things that you read?
Yeah, all the time.
All the time?
Yeah.
So it's just good practice by fact-checking.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you're not going to believe somebody on the internet till you do your own research about it.
And we suggest that just because you put stock in what people are saying, you should do your own research. I mean, here's the thing. And I'll even give a very transparent example of that. When we were talking about Ravencoin, somebody had placed in the comments regarding the smart contracts mention. Yeah. You don't need smart contract with Ravencoin. You can use smart contracts.
Not on Raven, no.
As far as, I take it back. Let me rephrase how I say that. Yeah. Another party could.
Yeah, with a layer 2.
With a layer 2, correct. Because it was even mentioned in the Twitter thread. Yeah. Regarding Ravencoin. Mm-hmm. But you don't need smart contract with the Ravencoin as far as that asset tokenization.
Yeah, because that asset is basically the representation of that contract.
So we clarified that in our comments on YouTube. And it's important to have a little bit of humility in this space.
Absolutely.
Because we're all learning. Yeah. No matter how far into it. Because Vitalik Buterin, for everything that's been done, if it was perfect from the beginning, there wouldn't have been a need to go from Ethereum Classic to Ethereum and now to Ethereum 2.0. It isn't a dig. This is just noticing humans are building these things.
Yeah.
Bitcoin, it is. I don't know that it was an AI machine that built it. I don't know that Satoshi Nakamoto is just an AI machine.
Sean Penn.
But in that way, the group of people or individual, it started somewhere in that way. And a lot of the coins that are built and the technology being built is built by humans. So there is going to be just some human error.
Yeah.
And we all don't have the crystal ball, because once people start utilizing things too, sometimes they use it in a way you never thought they would have used it.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Ready Whip. Kids get high on Ready Whip because of aerosol can.
What?
You never seen that?
No. I've done
Yeah,
it a
you're
few
right. I'm
times.
like, wait a minute. You've done it a few times.
What's that?
What's up? But going through Twitter and Reddit, the way you talk, Twit. Oh
Twitter and Reddit.
Ritter and Twit.
Ritter and Twitter.
Ritter and Twit.
Back in my day.
Oh, I was thinking more dyslexic.
Yeah.
Because I do have those moments.
Yeah.
But anyways, Twitter and Reddit, it takes more effort.
Yeah.
There's people you might put a lot of stock in, but you should still even kind of just check around and see any of the statements that they make.
Yeah, for sure.
But they're great places. They're fire hose of information, and there's a lot of noise. And just like anything else, if you're constantly viewing a certain type of tone, it seems that, especially with Twitter, it'll feed you more of that tone. Mm-hmm. Try to diversify. Discord is amazing, but it's its own just rabbit hole. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you could click on a well-established Discord, they have so many different threads.
If you can find an invite to one. Yeah.
A lot of them are fairly open.
Yeah.
Like, let's say Arweave, right? Mm-hmm. You can just join theirs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of these, Mirror has one. You can just join theirs. You also have to find out how to join it, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's, for some reason, it feels a little hidden in some ways.
Yeah.
But then again, if you're a Discord person, or you're a person who likes to engage with Discord, you kind of inherently know just how to find shit like that.
Yeah.
But it is kind of challenging sometimes. But Discord it could be its own full-time job. Like if you were launching something and you wanted to create a Discord to support your system, it's a full-time job. Eventually, we'll probably have our own Discord for the mining operation of what we're doing. Mm-hmm. But our customer service isn't just, it isn't necessary yet. The people who are part of our early card partners, because it's not open to the public yet, they're just, it's not somewhere where we need to be yet for our particular service. But if you're doing something in the space of crypto, especially your own coin or your own blockchain or any type of tech, you really need to have a Discord.
Yeah.
Another site I'm a big fan of is the information that Andreessen Horowitz puts out. A16Z Crypto. They have a Substack. They have their own podcast they just launched. Very in-depth stuff. Very advanced. Mm-hmm. A lot of it, in my opinion, is not very tangible.
Yeah.
But it is amazing information. Very rich information. Very knowledgeable source about it. Chris Dixon leads, I believe, a lot of Andreessen Horowitz's funding. They were a VC firm. I think they changed how they're classified, but they're obviously a venture capital type firm, and they head up a lot of crypto investments, just like Sequoia Capital. Katie Hahn, who worked with the DOJ, was part of the Silk Road case and utilized Bitcoin to capture the perpetrators in that situation. Yeah. She started her own fund after being successful with Andreessen Horowitz and their fund. Yeah. As far as leading that as a GP. She, I think, raised the largest individual fund for a single founder VC, and obviously it was a woman too. But just Google her. We'll have some links in the show notes about her and Chris Dixon, because Chris Dixon is very much a thought leader in this space. I'm of the opinion. He's been on a number of podcasts, and obviously what they're pushing out with their own content on Andreessen Horowitz or A16Z. But yeah, those are the biggest places that we look to constantly. And we're always searching for more. Even when we're utilizing those that we just talked about, we always stumble into new things.
Oh, absolutely.
But those are the places that we're constantly getting more information from. Mm-hmm. And then anytime somebody refers something to us, we check it out. But that's just a great place to start. Great place to start is coinmarketcap.com. Yeah. I mean, you just start there because there's so many links. You can find out the history of things. You can find links, and we'll put it in our show notes, the white paper. But as somebody learning, would you really want to just read a white paper?
No. No. I don't. I think I've maybe read 2 white papers in their entirety.
Really?
Yeah. I don't care about them.
I've read a few white papers.
Yeah.
Not just in crypto, but in other spaces. And
it's just like, okay, cool. I get it. How to write words. I don't know.
That's so funny.
No, I don't.
How to write words.
Yeah. Cool. That's what you're trying to do, but what are you actually doing? I mean, that's kind of...
I will say, because you head up a lot of, or all of our rigs and everything, you probably have more pressing issues reading up on how to fix things, how to get shit to run right.
No, I mean, how to make things work. Not so much.
No, I got you.
Yeah.
But white papers are amazing if you really want to dive into a coin. Any coin, especially ones that claim to have utility.
Yeah.
That's a good way to filter out the bullshit, is what's the utility value in what they're providing. There's a lot of shit coins out there. I believe there's a website, and then we'll put in our show note links regarding shit coins.
It's like the Coinmarketcap of shit coins.
Yeah,
it's called poo coin.
Poo coin. There you go. I mean, but it's almost like penny stocks too.
Yeah.
In some cases, there are breakouts. I mean, I believe that there's something like 15,000 different cryptocurrencies currently. Currently.
Wow.
Yeah. But Binance and Coinbase, I mean, they only have a couple hundred.
I mean, if you're interested in like the money side of it, not so much utility, like go on to a website, or not a website, go on to one of the exchanges, look up a list of coins where you like the price, where you're like, I can get a shit ton of these coins, or whatever, like coins that you've heard of, coins that you haven't heard of. Go to coinmarketcap.com, type those in, make sure you're hitting on the right ones, and then just look at tokenomics. Look at like if they have a lot of people buying in every day or not. Because if nobody's buying that coin, then the price isn't going to move. Yeah. I mean, it's just going to stay stagnant because nobody's buying or selling it. So there's just different things, but like whatever piques your interest. You don't have to go read a white paper.
No.
Yeah.
It's just if you really want to deep dive into it. Yeah. It's just good if they do have a white paper, but I mean...
Yeah, because then they put some thought behind it.
Yeah, it's just real thought into it. But you can also call bullshit depending upon how deep that rabbit hole you want to go.
Yeah.
But with all things...
It's just 100% copy-pasted.
One thing that I don't think we hear enough about crypto is, again, the mental side of it.
Yeah.
If you're investing in it, you just need to learn to let go. It is a highly volatile market.
Yeah.
You can't get too caught up in things, too stressed about things. If you're already kind of nervous about it, again, this isn't investment advice. This is just watching out for yourself. Don't put too much into it. Don't put anything you're not willing to lose into it, right? As far as the investment on education, it just takes time. Let time work its magic, but don't get too frustrated with it if you're not grasping the concepts.
Yeah. Because
sometimes I feel like people are like, what does everybody else around me understand that I don't?
Yeah.
And we all learn in different ways.
Yeah.
And there's not enough learning outlets yet with crypto and Web3 to cater to a lot of those different ways of learning. And they're coming. They're coming fast.
I was just talking with somebody. He's like, oh, it's so cool. I'm going to this conference. It's like Web3 sustainability partnership on a global level. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like... Like, who is excited to go to that? Like, I don't know. Like, start with Web3. Like, okay. Like,
that's enough.
If you're interested in that, great. Like,
well, for those that have really,
I mean,
adopted it or like, really immersed themselves.
Yeah, I mean, it's
getting that advanced.
You're talking into an echo chamber at that point, though.
You could be, yeah.
You know what I mean, it's just like, oh, yeah, oh. I'm really excited about all those buzzwords. Well, where it's like, okay, like, do you want to actually explain Web3 to, like, the possibility of people adopting it, or do you want to explain Web3 to your other crypto bros? And
so it's
I don't know.
And
it's just interesting.
From my perspective, it has to happen in these weird ways.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you can reverse engineer a lot of the adoption by humans and innovation by humans by just looking how history has played out.
Yeah.
You need a lot of this hype so that a good percentage of people who just want to talk about it actually take action.
Yeah.
And then those who take action, how many of them actually put something out of value?
Yeah.
And those who put something out of value, how long of them are any of them going to have good execution and staying power.
Yeah.
It just happens, right? With any type of innovation, there's just a certain amount of drilling down things that, but it's, I guess you'd say it's called the growth pains of any vertical or industry.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just more of what we're experiencing right now. It is extremely male. I feel like there's more outlets for females now. Like, for instance, the Wing, right? It's that co-working space for women. But more than a co-working space, it's much more of a community of women. And I'm of the belief that it's an underutilized asset of the Wing that they need to work with their community more so than their brick and mortar, to be honest with you. But that's just an opinion. I have a little, in full disclosure, I have a little more insight into the Wing with the relationships I have. But at that same rate, there's a way for there to be a gender gap closure, because I know it's a topical point. Mm-hmm. Warren Buffett was a proponent of gender equality very early on in one of his many documentaries that I've seen. He talks about you're leaving a great portion of the labor force, the thought leaders, on the sidelines if it's not inclusive of gender and race. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Now, I know these are topical discussion points, but they have to be taken into consideration, because when you start talking about, and once you start learning more about crypto, the promise and potential is there to be a great equalizer of wealth, because there can be a generational shift of wealth currently with what's afforded to us. But when you start talking about certain ways to acquire crypto, if there's capital involved, it's kind of that cliche. It takes money to make money. Mm-hmm. So how do you create a more level playing field? Again, the reason why I'm talking about this is you need to find a reason to be motivated to learn about this. Mm-hmm. Maybe you're not going to build something. Maybe you're not looking to do anything crazy, but it will become a part of our lives. It definitely seems inevitable because of the sheer speed of transmission of, if I hand somebody $1, it's a promissory note basically for that dollar, that exchange of value. The time it takes for credit cards and debit cards to settle transactions with actual value into your account is done in seconds. With digital currencies that are made for it. I need to caveat to say, because Ethereum can take its sweet ass time sometimes. Bitcoin too. Well, with the Lightning Network now being taken advantage of, it expedites a lot of the processing. Mm-hmm. I've heard case studies right now where people are using the Lightning Network to go from fiat, convert into Bitcoin, Lightning Network, go from Bitcoin back to fiat, to just expedite the fiat settlement. So again, it's about the technology of crypto, not necessarily crypto as a financial or a currency, because we're of the belief, or I'm at least of the belief, you shouldn't be using Bitcoin to buy your tacos and burritos. You know what I mean? It's more of a store of value, which you can look up. But anyways, for this particular episode, we wanted to share the ways we have learned, the ways we continue to learn, and just the open mind that we're probably never going to stop learning.
And that Sean Penn is both Satoshi, Banksy, and he took down El Chapo. So, I mean,
it's been a good year for Sean.
It's been a good decade, dude.
Well, they don't give Oscars for that, unfortunately.
No, they don't.
For those who aren't seeing this on video, it kind of looks like Brandon's flexing.
But I'm stretching.
Well, it looks like a flex.
Thank you guys. You all been lovely.
So again, if you have found value in what about this show or any of the shows we put out, please share that value with others. Who doesn't like to share value? If you'd like to be notified when new episodes become available, go to cryptopodcast.xyz.
XYZ.
And you just sign up for our show notes newsletter, and every single episode that drops, you just get the show notes and everything, the links, and just one simple to view email. It's pretty. We'll never spam. We don't sell your data. We're just
I'm just kidding. Never.
You had to throw that. That's not our MO.
No.
But anyways,
I don't even know who I'd sell it to.
Oh, there's plenty of people. No,
but I'm not in charge of that, so don't worry
blame
about
me. Blame me. Recording podcast studios provided by ADU West Coast and Seal Beach. They turn underutilized garage space and backyards into rental housing units. Their website is at aduwestcoast.com.
Make that money.
It is. We're big fans of real estate investing as well. And we have some hands in that. So that's how we have the hookup at the ADU, which is accessory dwelling unit.
Land barons.
So, that's a whole new subject to learn about. The original music is brought to you by the Celebrators. It's a good group. out of Oregon. And then this episode is produced by Vocal Visual and Wizard Cats. I love when you do that.
I'm just gonna be just gonna make random noises. Who's that dude on
Police Academy?
Police Academy.
Yeah. I know. I want to say his name's like Larvell Jones, but I think that's his character name or something like that.
Okay.
But thank you for listening to the Fort Brox Crypto Podcast.
You my dudes.
And ladies.